Peace again, family. As promised, extensive reading on this full moon in Pisces energy, an energy overview, and I'm going to be aligning with the ancestral realm. I'm going to connect, see what messages come through in using these particular decks that are aligned with the ancestors of various traditions. I'm going to begin by saying a prayer that I always say before my readings. The deck a day I usually say off camera just so I can keep those readings short and sweet, but always said to call in Spirit and the Creator, Mother Earth, our ancestors. So let us pray. I give thanks to the Creator for the breath of life. I give thanks to Earth Mother for sustaining us. I give thanks to the Spirit of Destiny for wisdom and insight. I give thanks to the spiritual gatekeepers for opening the way to the ancestral realm and blessing me with Ashe. I pay homage and I pour libation to the ancestors, Orisha, angels, guides, prophets, and ascended masters, and I am honored and humbled by their presence. I give thanks to them for sharing their voices and messages through me and these sacred tools as I seek guidance for the collective. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o. I will pour libation here into my plant that I have off camera. Give thanks. Ashe. All right, I'm going to start off with the Hoodoo Tarot. Give thanks, angels, ancestors, Orisha, for guidance for the collective on this full moon in Pisces. What would you have us know? Got one card flipped out there. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your guidance. All right, they're flipping out. They're flipping out. Woo! Wow. That one hit the floor. Going for it. All right. All right. I'm going to turn them over so that you guys can see them shortly. I'm just taking a gander here. Awesome. So this deck is very specific in regards to the imagery and the names, so I will definitely align them with the traditional tarot for those who are more familiar. So we have Father Sims, which is card 14, which in the traditional tarot is the Temperance card, which is all about balance and harmony, patience, self-control, moderation. So when you see what is happening right now in the world, it's about balance, it's about moderation, it's about having various options and trying to find an in-between where possible. This water energy coming through is very Pisces-like flow with this harvest moon in Pisces. You know, you have the father figure that's got these two cups pouring a little bit from both in that sense to make sure that things are equal, that there's equilibrium. There's alignment as well with this full moon and harvest moon being 2 days away from the autumn equinox, which is very much aligned in regards to that equilibrium, that equality, that kind of middle ground energy of, you know, equal day, equal night and such. So it's important to pay attention to the choices that we're making and to make sure that we are having a sense of balance and a sense of moderation through all of this. There's a lot of fear-mongering that's going on right now. It attacks our emotions, and this is a very emotional moon as well. This is an energy, like I've been saying, that we are thinking about the seeds that we planted and being mindful of those seeds, because we are all going to reap what we sow, good, bad, or ugly. So the safest bet is to be moderate. The safest bet is to think about balance, think about equality, think about fairness, so that we're kind of covering our bases, especially when we're unsure in some ways, that we should at the very least kind of try to find some middle ground. And the middle ground is thinking of ourselves, filling up our own cup, but filling it to the brim so that others can drink of the overflow, not filling it just so that we can hoard all of that flow to ourselves. It's important for us to want to have so that we can give. The more we have, the more we share, that kind of energy. So it has a kind of contradictory level in regards to moderation, because you do want to get as much as you can, but you want to get as much as you can so that you can give. And that's where you find that temperance. That's where you find the balance in that. So that's interpretation for that card. We've got the 9 of Coins, which aligns with Pentacles energy, which is earth energy. That's coming through with our sun being in Virgo right now, being an earth sign. And the 9 of Pentacles is about pleasure. It's about, financials, kind of feeling like, a wish fulfillment, self-sufficiency. There's financial gain that's represented in this card. And I think that it's important when we align it with the Temperance card to realize that we can acquire luxuries in life. We can get all of the things that we want. Again, that same energy of the more we get, the more we can give, the more we are thinking about that fairness. We're going to be blessed with this kind of luxury. We're going to be blessed with this kind of financial gain, because we're already saying when we get, this is what we want to do with it. We want to spread that love. We want to water other people's seeds with this luxury, with this financial gain, with this, acquiring of wishes being fulfilled. It's an energy of thinking about manifesting money, because the coins definitely represents health. It represents wealth as well. So acquiring money, acquiring, the things that we know will make us feel better, but not waiting for us to have it in order to feel good, not waiting for us to have it in order for us to give and for us to share. We need to start practicing that now with what it is that we do have. And that is what's going to open up the floodgates, quite literally, and letting those, auspicious waters flow for us to be able to have more and acquire more in order for us to be able to have more to share. The card was in reverse, so I do feel, I always read upright in general and then give the general idea of what a reversal could mean. And in this case, the reversal, could mean just that blockage that we're having in regards to us not feeling a sense of balance, for us to not be in that position where we are thinking about moderation and about fairness and about equality and about wanting to pay it forward. A lot of us are blocked and feeling like crabs in a bucket syndrome, and like we need to just hoard everything and we need to keep everything. And as a result, it's blocking this luxury and this abundance and this financial gain from coming through to us, because Spirit is saying, like, if you have what you have now and you're not sharing, why should I give you more for you to not potentially do more? Or why should I believe that you're going to only give then when you have more? If you're a giver, you give. It doesn't matter what you have. And that's the question, and that's the test, and that's what temperance is all about. It's about finding that balance, and it's about also having your boundaries of knowing what it is that you do need to keep for yourself, but being very generous as much as you can, especially when you think about your tribe, when you think about your family, when you think about the people that have your back and that look out for you in that same way. That's temperance. It goes both ways. You have to give for others as much as you want to receive. It's reciprocity. So this blockage that's coming through, potentially could mean that we're not giving enough because we feel like we don't have enough. And that's a scarcity mindset. And as soon as we have a scarcity mindset, it blocks us and just keeps us stuck in that mode. And as a result, there's no way that this is going to come through. And that's what's also keeping it in that reversal energy. So the more we give, the more we spend, even in some ways, without feeling like that stress and that anxiety of where's the next dollar going to come. It's not about being frivolous. It's not about, just being willy-nilly with your dollars, you know what I'm saying? But you have to spend money to make money. You have to also invest in yourself and invest in your community, invest in your people, invest in your dreams, invest in your business, whatever it is that you want to do. It takes money as well to be able to bring that to fruition. We're talking about planting seeds, and it's rare that you're just going to necessarily find the seed on the ground, right? You have to purchase that seed. You need to get that seed from somewhere. And it's an energy exchange, even if it's not about a monetary exchange. It's about reciprocity in that same way. When we're aligning with energy, when we're aligning with spirit, when we're aligning with source, we are not supposed to just get to get. We have to have that continuous circle, that continuous flow of waters. That's why there's two cups here, that it's a constant flow of kind of pouring into each other, so that, you know, there's always a little bit in everybody's cup. So we turn this, you know, right side up by having that sense of moderation and balance and giving, being generous, so that we can get more as a result to be able to give more. So I will keep those like this for you guys to see as we continue. And then we've got the Six of Baskets, which refers and aligns with the Cups energy in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, or most tarot decks. And this is about gifts, it's about reunion, it's about memories, it's about generosity. So it's perfectly aligned with, you know, what's coming through, what Spirit's bringing through right now in regards to the message, you know, from Temperance and the Nine of Coins. And this is upright. So it's basically giving us that very clear to-do list so that we can eliminate the blockage that's happening here. We have our first step in many ways that's letting us know what it is that we need to do to eliminate this blockage. And then we're getting a follow-up in regards to that giving nature, in regards to gifting people, that generosity. You know, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's a very, very clear alignment and confirmation and clarification, you know, just to reiterate. And I think that it's really special that Spirit is coming through with this, especially it being the baskets that refers to cups, because our Temperance card is technically a cups card too, right? We have those cups of water, and our cups energy is about water. It is the element of water, and filling our cups so that others can drink of the overflow, like I said, and offering other people that full cup, because you know that you'll be able to be replenished. And especially when you are aligning yourself with people that you know replenish you, there's nothing lost when you're giving to someone who gives to you. It's just a continuous cycle. That is, again, the alignment with Temperance. You know you're taken care of, so you know you got them, because you know that they got you. So it really is about finding that kind of community and aligning yourself with those people so that you know that you are always going to be taken care of, and you don't have to hesitate in regards to your generosity and in regards to your gifting, in regards to, you know, what it is that you have that you want to share. And again, as a result, it just creates more abundance. The more we find ourselves in those kinds of environments where we feel free and safe enough to give, that is what creates this idea of luxury and financial gain. And again, that's in health and it's in wealth. It's across the board. It's abundance on all levels. So that's a beautiful energy to come through. And then we've got the Seven of Knives, which aligns with Swords, which is the air element. It's about our intellect. And, you know, when this card comes in, it's refers oftentimes to betrayal and to theft and people trying to get away with something. So this is a warning in alignment with what's coming through here, because it feels like what it is that I feel Spirit is kind of giving us this to-do list for, in order to do everything that I'm saying in terms of finding the right community, you know, being in a space where you feel generous enough to give. It's so important to find those like-minded, like-hearted, like-spirited people, so that you can avoid being in a position where you are being generous and giving too much to people that may stab you in the back, to people that may take and not replenish, not be reciprocal. There are always energies like that, especially the more generous you are, especially the more you give, especially the more you have. And I think that this reversal as well of the Nine of Coins is a protection that Spirit is giving us right now. Because if we had it all, if we were in the upright position right now, before we were able to understand the importance of temperance with the right people, we would be taken advantage of. We would be exposed to Seven of Swords, Seven of Knives energy. So I look at this as divine timing. I look at this as, and I'm grateful, truly, because of the timing of things, because I know personally, if I had everything that I'm trying to manifest and that I know that I am going to manifest, if I had it all now already, my energy and environment and the entities around me are not fully formed yet enough to have discarded all of the negativity, all of the people that, again, some of them that I'm just not sure of yet. It's not even about why do I still have negative energy around me? Sometimes we don't know. And especially when we have the kind of energy that is about temperance and wanting to give and, wanting to be equal and kind and generous and six of baskets, or just wanting to offer people things and gift them with things, we don't really exclude and we don't judge too quickly. So as a result, it takes time for people to really expose themselves. And as a result, obviously, what I'm getting from this is that there are still people around us that we're still weighing out, that are still about to show themselves. That's happening in the world right now. There is so much that is going to be exposed through all of this. This moon is helping with that. This energy in general, the age of Aquarius is happening, and is helping with that. The autumn equinox is going to help with that. And a lot of people are waking up with things that are happening on the medical level, on a political level, around the world. There is huge shifting and transformation and transition happening right now that it is impossible for us to know exactly who it is that's standing behind us with 7 swords, ready to juke in our back. So it takes time, and that needs to be discarded. It needs to be exposed before we're able to discard it, and that's when Spirit is going to come through and flip this up for us and bring it all the way in. So don't question the timing. Don't be impatient. Give thanks, truly give thanks for the protection. Give thanks for the alignment. The fact that we're asking for something, but Spirit knows, God knows, the Creator knows, our ancestors know, our Orishas know, or our Netters know, they know, our angels know more than we do. And when things take the time that they take, it is for a very specific purpose. And we just have to give thanks in that process, in trusting, in realizing that that's how much that they have our back, that they have our back in that way, in that capacity, because we are not always able to, because we have a lot of differing things, even with ego coming in. 7 of Knives is, again, knives is the swords, is about the intellect, is about the ego. And we make choices based on ego, and other people make choices based on ego that are not always soulful choices. They're oftentimes ruled, again, by ego in the sense of, feeling like it's about self-preservation, it's about getting something, it's about winning over somebody else, or whatever that may be. So it's really important to stay aligned. Had a quick splice there because I had to stop the recording for a minute. Must have heard the very rude interrupting YouTube ad coming in with my meditation music in the background. But staying aligned, right back in it. Was talking about staying aligned. That's exactly where we were. And it's important for us to stay aligned. In that alignment is where we are going to be able to see through people. We're going to be able to align with energy, so that it doesn't matter what people do or what they say, we're able to really feel who they are and the longevity of a particular dynamic and their intentions towards us, or our intentions towards them. This is not just about other people doing something to us. We always have to put ourselves in the position to make sure that we are not giving off any 7 of Swords energy, and that we are not being disingenuous or, just trying to one-up somebody. So don't just think of yourself as, oh, I'm watching a card reading and I'm all up into the spirit, so it can't be me. This has to be something that I'm being protected from. Absolutely. Definitely align with that positive energy. But in doing that, make sure that you're not risking judging by making it seem like it's impossible for you to potentially be the one that may be putting off, those vibes and putting off that energy, because we all suffer from ego. And it really depends on a particular situation. I'm sure every single one of us has been in a position or an experience or a circumstance that we never thought we would do or say, and we did. because of whatever the situation was. We're never able to know exactly what we would or wouldn't do or say until we're actually in the situation. We're realizing that now, especially with what's happening globally. You know, a lot of us are making choices that we wouldn't necessarily have made, or are going to be making choices that we realize there are going to be repercussions for, but we have to stick to it. Or we made choices that we can't turn back from now. Things, all kinds of stuff that we're navigating right now that we did not in a million years think we would be in right now already. To me, you know, I did see a lot of what's happening coming. It just happened so much quicker than I thought it would. And maybe in terms of wishful thinking, I didn't want it, you know, to happen this quickly, or didn't think that it could happen this quickly because of how much of a, you know, a change of world. But on the positive side, that means that that's how quick things can change back. That means that things can reverse for the better that quickly as well, if not faster. If darkness was able to permeate like that and that quickly, then just focus and think about what the light can do. So moving forward, thank you angels, thank you ancestors, thank you Orisha, thank you to Netters. We're going to continue with this ancestral deck here and see what the messages are. Give thanks. And these are cards that align with ancestors of various traditions. And cultures. And the beautiful thing about diversity and, you know, multiple cultures is it's about root. It's about the roots. And when we can align with roots and realize the similarities, despite all of the different colored leaves, that's what's important, and that's what we have to hone in and focus on. The roots are what sustains us. The roots are our ancestors, are the ancestral realm, and we don't even know how far back we go. So in many ways, who we are now, color, creed, religion, spirituality, whatever, that's our leaves. But our roots look the same. That's just the fact. That's just the truth. So we really do need to think about going as deep as we can, rooted as we can, so that we don't get caught up in the color of our leaves, in the reality of our leaves, in the texture of our leaves, in, you know, the name of our leaves, because even that changes. And we see that, especially with the energy of the autumn equinox coming. The leaves are changing. The leaves are falling. Things are shifting. So the roots are going to be the same, because it's because of the roots that those leaves get to grow back again next spring. So just focus on that. Message from Spirit: whole self-health, natural therapies, balance, Ayurveda. Listen, we are talking right now about choices. We are talking right now about things that we may have done or didn't think that we would do, etc., etc. I don't want to get political, and I really try to avoid that in any of my posts. That's actually why I've been kind of staying away and like not showing my face these days and stuff, because I got feelings. I got a lot of feelings about the stuff that's going on right now. And I'm not trying to get the FBI on my, you know what I'm saying? Right. So all I'm going to say is that Spirit is coming through right now to align with this back to natural lifestyle. This is what inspired this brand. This is what inspires everything that I do, from the oils to the organite to the crystal jewelry to the teas that I make to my eating habits, vegan, gluten-free, etc. It's so important for us to get back to natural because of how many choices so many of us are making to try to get back to normal. This normal that we are trying so hard to get back to, that we feel we would do anything to get back, is what got us in this mess to begin with. It is so imperative for us to, again, if we're talking about going back to our roots, that whole spiel that I just channeled in regards to roots, that I need to listen back because I don't even remember what I said right now. But the fact of the matter is getting back to the solid, getting back to what sustains, getting back to what is forever, what maintains. That is nature. That is the truth. That is in the food. That is in the vitamins. That is in the holistic, the whole self-health. We cannot be focused on band-aids right now. We cannot be focused on prescriptions right now. This is about prevention over prescription. This is about taking care of our roots, our bodies, the depth, the core of who we are, so that we are protected from anything external, that there's so much fear put on us to do anything to avoid. If we have whole self-health, if we think about our natural therapies, balance, listen, you can't make this up. Temperance, balance, this is exactly this. This is exactly this. And to come in with that energy and for it to be confirmed right now as well, in alignment, again, also with 9 of coins being in reverse. And I said it, 9 of the coins, pentacles are wealth and health. So it's also thinking about our health. So there is no accident here. This is abundance on all levels. When we are healthy, we are wealthy. When we are wealthy, we are healthy. It is so important for us to keep that in mind. And I love this deck in particular because it's very clear. It's a very clear directive of what is needed. And I put this energy out to ask what the collective needs to know and what this this full moon is teaching us. This full moon that's about harvest. Look at the harvest. Look at the harvest in this picture. We had 6 of baskets. Think about harvest energy in these cards. So this is the harvest. When we're talking about roots and the trees and the leaves and the bearing fruit and the planting of the seeds and all of this stuff, listen, it's so real. It's so real for us to, again, focus and align with what it is that we're planting, what it is that we want to bear fruit, and for us to live off of that fruit and to know that our roots are strong and they're deep and they're preserved and they're protected and they're aligned with source, so they will continuously bear fruit for us. There is going to be a forever, eternal, infinite abundance in that harvesting. And that is what is going to bring us health. That is what is going to bring us wealth. Because again, once we are strong and healthy internally, that is going to permeate. And when that permeates externally, everything aligns, money included. So please, I implore you all who is watching this, who was meant to see this, focus on what you are putting in your body. Think about, think about what you are putting in your body. And, I feel a way when people start to say, oh, I'm being mindful of what I eat now, or I'm not going to do that because I don't know what's in it, or whatever it is. And then you have people on the opposing side that'll say, well, you never questioned that before. What's the big deal now? That's like saying, oh, so I shouldn't evolve, I shouldn't grow, I shouldn't learn, so I shouldn't know better and do better, or do better when I know better. Whenever you realize that you should do something differently, you should start doing it differently, period. So when I say be mindful of what you put in your body, that starts today. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter if you didn't think about it yesterday. If you were able to be mindful and soulful about it today, that's what matters, because that is what can add whatever amount of time to your life that you wouldn't necessarily have if you didn't think about it today, regardless of the fact that you didn't think about it yesterday. So, whole self-health, you know what that is. You know what you shouldn't be eating. You know what you shouldn't be jabbing. You know what you shouldn't be, whatever, drinking. We know what we shouldn't be doing. And again, to each his own. I'm saying you know what you should and shouldn't be doing. I know what I should and shouldn't be doing. And it's not the same thing for everybody. I can say, go and get some fruit, and some person could be allergic to fruit. So obviously it doesn't mean that fruit is a remedy for everybody. It's just about being mindful of what is for you, and at the very least, not doing what you know you shouldn't be doing, what you're not sure you should be doing. For me, when you are unsure about something, the answer is no. It's very simple for me. Unless you get a resounding, soulful yes, it's a no. If you are at a crossroads, if you're at a dilemma, if you're not sure, if you're in two minds, that's something gnawing at your gut that's telling you, or at least you need to not say yes. At the very least, don't say yes. Take time. And in the meantime, while you are taking time, eat the right foods, drink water, get enough rest. Try not to eat, a few hours before bed so that your body can heal and adjust and rest and get lucid dreams so that you can get the intuitive messages and inspired action of what to do about whatever it is that you're trying to manifest or whatever it is that you're trying to figure out. Don't put certain things in your body that you're unsure of or that makes your tummy hurt after you eat it or whatever it may be. Just hold off. Take your vitamins. Drink your sea moss, get some moringa, get some aronia berries, drink that ginger tea, y'all know what to do. Get some oils and anoint your body head to toe. Take your cleansing showers and your spiritual baths. Eat your fresh fruit and your vegetables, raw if you can, as often as you can. We know the prescriptions. The planet's prescriptions. Mother Nature's prescriptions. That gives us prevention, that gives us purpose, that gives us power. I can go on, so I'm just gonna stop because it's there. Harvest, it's harvest time, and we reap what we sow. So that also aligns with what it is that we ingest. There is no way that we can think that we are going to put certain things into our body and not think that our body is going to react accordingly, good, bad, or ugly, especially if there's things that we feel are unknown and then think that we're not supposed to expect some God knows what could potentially happen. Like, we have to have contingencies for these things. We have to think about these things. And to me, back to natural is about the safest bet, nature. That's for me. And I can only share what's for me. And whoever don't like it, don't gotta watch. Straight up. It's not for you. Then it's not for you. And that's okay. That's okay. Give thanks. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, Alicia, for your alignment. It's clear directives, clear messages. Thank you for confirmation, clarification. Any further information you wish to share with the collective on this full moon in Pisces. Give thanks. Fire guardian, ignite your passions. Part of harvest season is the dreams, the hopes, the plans, the purpose, the businesses, the ideas, the creativity that you've been putting time and investment and energy into. It's reaping season. It is harvest season. So the igniting of that is aligning with harvesting, right? We have ideas that have sparks, but when you ignite something, it's like ready to go. So align with what it is that makes you feel that fire in your belly, and not a fire in your belly because you ate something that you shouldn't have ate and now you got bubble guts. Like, that's not what we're talking about, because that's exactly what we're not talking about. So it's that thing that makes you feel so inspired, that makes you feel so aligned, that, again, I always say, that thing that you do that makes you lose track of time when you're doing it. That when people talk about work-life balance, when there is no such thing, because work is life and life is work, because you don't even consider it work because of how it makes you feel, because of how it fuels you. The fuel to that fire, what ignites it, that gasoline that gives it that combustion, you know what that thing is for you. And what I will as well say in alignment and why these things connect for me is because the better we treat ourselves, mind, body, heart, soul, spirit, because soul and spirit is a different energy, and that's a whole other video. The more we take care of those various entities, the more we are aligned with source and with our soul and with our higher selves, in order for us to know exactly what we were put on this planet for, why we returned, what we're meant to do, and to ensure that we fulfill that purpose before we transition and get on to the next mission, or reincarnate, or whatever it is, return to the star that we came from, or whatever it may be. So the alignment with taking care of your temple, eating the right foods, or at least not eating the wrong ones. We can start there, because even if we don't always know what the right foods are, we kind of know what the wrong ones are. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know, come on. Even I'm vegan, gluten-free, no processed foods, all of that stuff, but there's still stuff that I eat that's technically all up in the right realm that I know, like, I shouldn't, like, I'm addicted to popcorn. I know I shouldn't be eating as much popcorn as I eat. I know that I don't. So I try to moderate, but we just have to try our best to cut. Everything's a process. And that's how this process for vegan, gluten-free, all of that happened for me. It was a step. There were always steps to the next level. I didn't just stop everything. It's not realistic, and it's easier to fall off the wagon when you do it like that. So take your stages and take your steps. And then, like I said, start with at least removing. The same way we're releasing energy. This is a release energy. Full moons are about releasing. Start with releasing so that you can make space for what it is that you want to come through. It's the same thing on a physical, tangible level with what it is that we ingest, that we put into our bodies. Remove, release, like reduce the toxicity. Because when we do that, again, our portal opens up so much wider. Our capacity for channeling and for downloads and DNA upgrades are so much more heightened. So that is aligning so perfectly with what it is that makes us feel inspired and passionate, because we're going to get that information. We're going to get those confirmations, those cosmic confirmations. We're going to get that inspired action, that creativity. We're going to be like just so fueled with what we know we are supposed to do, that it's going to be a motivation and an encouragement and an alignment that we've never experienced before. And I know for me, on a spiritual level, removing things from my diet in the stages that I did, I saw physical, intangible, tangible, spiritual results within weeks, in regards to growth, in regards to expansion, in regards to my gifts, my talents, my abilities, my creativity, my purpose, my sacred service, my prayers, my dreams, the messages coming through. It was so like, it was to the point where even when I was missing certain things that I stopped eating, it was a no-brainer to not eat them anymore, because I knew what I would give up, because I knew that I wasn't able to have that access before I gave it up. So just think about that. Think about that and how it aligns, especially in regards to your purpose, in regards to your body. If you know that you have this incredible passion and purpose in something that you are meant to do, and you realize this is what I was put on this earth to do, but you're eating a bunch of junk, or you're putting something in your body that could shorten your life, then are you going to be doing yourself and your service and others justice if you're not able to completely fulfill that to the length, to the longevity of that potential, of that possibility? So, you know, our health and our passions align, because obviously we also want to leave a legacy, but the more time we have on the planet, the more we're able to create and build. I spent this whole last week while Kaya was with her dad making orgonite, making new jewelry, that a new line that I'm going to launch tomorrow, actually, or Wednesday. I'm still thinking about it. I'm aiming for autumn equinox vibes. So just in that 1 week, what I was able to produce, I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, if I do a little bit every day, and it's exactly that, doing a little bit every day. So we want to have as many days as possible to do that, and in wellness and in health, and feeling vibrant and feeling strong and feeling like I can get out of bed at 8 o'clock in the morning and get this thing done, because I was doing it for somebody else's job. So I'm definitely going to do it for myself. You know what I'm saying? So it aligns. That's all. My whole point is that the health, what we're eating, what we're ingesting, what we're putting into our body aligns with our purpose and our passion and what we are meant to do while we are here. So we want to try to do whatever we can to be here as long as possible. Ashe. Give thanks. Oof. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for the alignment. Thank you for the connection. So these are cards that align with ancestral and angelic energies. Radha, soul flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship, harmony, and healing. Relationship, harmony, and healing. Do you see how these align here? Soul flame, we're talking about whole self-health, how that aligns with our body and how it aligns with our spirit, how we're able to have access to channeling, but also having a strong, able, well body to be able to manifest the passions that we want to ignite, the purpose that we want to fulfill. And that connects so clearly with our soul flame, because it's something that is within us, that flame. This is fire guardian, and we have soul flame here that is telling us, you know, that thing that is at the pit of your stomach that fuels you, that just makes you feel so inspired, so ignited, so passionate, that we often do need to rediscover. And the rediscovery, I'm also seeing in alignment with this whole self-health, because just as I'm expressing that we don't always know our capacity because we're blocking our energy oftentimes by the things that we ingest. And that's not only food, by the way, let me say, but I would be remiss to not say that that's not just in regards to what it is that we're ingesting in terms of food and drink and chemicals or whatever it may be. This is also in terms of our visuals, what we watch when we're on social media, when we watch the news, when we watch certain movies, certain energies that we, especially we're talking about dream state, we're talking about lucid dreaming and being able to get channels and directives and inspired actions when we meditate and when we dream and when we're aligned. When we fill up our minds and our hearts and our souls and our memories with these negative visuals, that is also taking up space to replay in our minds when we're resting. There's not enough room for the positivity that we want to come through, for those DNA upgrades to come through, for the things that are part of our inspiration. I started dreaming of jewelry, and that's the line that I'm going to start and get a little sneak peek. Dream Jewelry, heads up, is going to be launched on Wednesday. And they came in dreams. This idea, the visuals, the names of them, everything came to me in a dream, just like my Back to Natural logo did. And I know that it's because of how I have prepped my body, my mind, my heart, my spirit, cleansed it, detoxified it on a physical and a non-physical level. That's allowing me to be open in this way. Even in regards to channel, when I do readings like this, like I've never been able to just talk like this before and to be able to read and connect and hear them or let them use me in this way until I cleansed myself out on all of those different levels, until I rediscovered that lost part of myself. And it was only in that detoxifying, again, you can only make room for what is meant for you to come through by releasing what is taking up its space. We have so much to release. Use this full moon, which is about releasing energy, to release all of those things. Negative emotions, negative entities, negative environments, negative energy, negative eating, all of these things. Negative ego, because ego can help us sometimes. So it's not just about, oh, release the ego. You know what I'm saying? The ego is the only one that's really got our back more than anybody else. It doesn't always do the right thing, but it is just for us. Again, self-preservation mode sometimes, but oftentimes it's based on scarcity and all of these different things. So we do have to assess the ego when it makes a decision or when it whispers something in our minds. And then that's when we need to align with our soul flame. This is why we need to take this time to clear out a lot of stuff that is contributing to the interpretations that we make when we hear certain things in our mind, in our ego. And we need to be able to align with our soul and see that's temperance too. That's that balance too. We need to make sure to put the mind and the soul, mindfulness and soulfulness, two edges of that sword, right? Mindfulness and soulfulness. Don't just focus on mindfulness, because the mind can lie to us sometimes. Soulfulness is where God resides. Soulfulness is where our peace is, where our flame of passion, where that fire that ignites us resides. So when we align our mind and our soul, our mindfulness on our soulfulness, that is the temperance and the balance that is often needed for us to really make intuitive choices. The experience relationship harmony and healing, as well aligning with our whole self-health, aligning with our fire guardian, ignite your passion, because it really is about taking the time to take care of yourself in the absolute best way that you can, removing fear and worry and doubt and harmful choices and habits and all of these things, so that we can be a clear channel. So that they say cleanliness is godliness. So it's important to think about our vessel and making sure that we have a clean vessel in more ways than one, so that God can reside. God is going to reside no matter what. God is going to come through no matter what, but we want God to come through. We want our ancestors to come through. We want them to feel happy and safe and whole and pure, but they can only in a happy, safe, pure environment. And it starts with our entity. It starts with our energy. It starts with our eating. It starts with all of that, with our environment. So start clearing out. Again, at least with this support of this releasing energy, with this watery releasing energy, wash it away. This is about catharsis. This is about cleaning. This is about watering the new seeds, the things that we want to plant, those roots that we want to stay solid. There's a lot of things we need to uproot right now that we know have not been working, and that we don't want that to be what grows again next spring. So be mindful of those choices and start. Use this moon, and that's why this energy is coming through, and asking the moon for this guidance. She's telling us, the angels, the ancestors directly are telling us through the energy of this moon what we need to do. And I just love the very clear directives that make us create not just a to-do list, but the I want to-do list. A to-do list that we create, that we don't have a bunch of obligations and okay, I did that, fine, I had to. No, it's yeah, okay, ooh, I did, and what's next? And that's what we want. And this is what this guidance is telling us to do. And this moon is here in such incredible support to help us reap what we sow. So align with native spirit, and the original people of the land, and give thanks. What is your message in alignment with the moon for us? Thanks. Oh, you saw that? All right, I'm gonna take that one because it was like, didn't want to go back in the pack. Didn't want to slide back in the pack. So obviously, this is the native spirit energy that wants to come through. And this is why. Release, cleanse, purify. I was just saying, it's not just about the internal, it's about our environment, it's about our entity, it's about our energy, smudging, ceremony. We need to catharsis. This is, listen, and we're aligning with ego energy, right? We're talking about clearing out the negative ego, the ego that's going to keep us kind of blocked away and making harmful choices. So the fact that smudging is about smoke, it's about air quality, air essence, intellect. Air aligns with the intellect. So that's also where our 7 of Knives comes back in, because our Swords energy, our Knives energy is about the air element, is about the intellect, thinking about the ego. The 7 of Swords energy, the theft potential, the betrayal, the people that are making choices based on ego that can potentially... Yet another interruption, so another splice. Apologies. But I was saying 7 of Swords energy aligning with ego and the air element and the intellect, and people that are around us that may potentially have ill intentions towards us. If we look at society, if we look at government, if we look at the world, if we look at any of these things that we may feel like we're not really trusting. This is a trust issue, right? So we need to clear those things away. We need to smudge them away. So on a very tangible and very easy I want to do list action item, get some sage, get some yerba santa, get some palo santo, dragon's blood, whatever it is that you feel alignment, but do your best to get the actual herbs, right? You want to get the leaves dried. I have sage, palo santo, and yerba santa here. I actually do all 3 religiously every time. I start with sage, that removes negative energy. Always open a window, you want the energy to disperse, to go out of your space. So you start with sage that I have here. That again is the removing of negative energy. And then I go with my palo santo, and that is the obstacle remover. So I'd go with that next after the energy is cleared out. Then I remove any obstacles, anything that could be potentially remnant, staying in my way, palo santo to remove that. And then yerba santa is the heart healer, cleanses the emotions. So if again, there's anything lingering, any past stuff that's in our way, we want to remove that as well. So I do these 3 in that order every time I smudge, so that I'm kind of getting also a trinity of cleansing, so to speak, and working on the mind, body, spirit energy in regards to that cleansing out and removing of energies that I don't want or that I feel could be hindering or harming. And that includes people and protecting my space and my entity and my energy. So that's step 1. That's step 1, is to release, clear it out, smoke it out. Again, no accident with aligning this energy with igniting your passion. Light that flame. Burn that sage. Burn what it is that's preventing you from finding that alignment with your fire, with your fuel, with your passion, with what ignites you. Soul flame. Again, this flame energy, this smoking energy, this lighting, that lighter. And I will also say, use lighters instead of matches. Something that I learned recently, that the sulfur that's in matches when you strike a match leaves off a smell, which you'll always smell when you light a match, that negative energies and spirits actually like that smell. So not to freak anybody out, but I've stopped using matches for quite some time now, just so that I don't want to be counterproductive in lighting a match to clear out negative energy while welcoming in negative energy. So as a result, I strictly use lighters now to light anything. And I also, again, only use actual herbs to burn, resin to burn, and I don't use stick incense anymore, because stick incense is about 80% of it on the market right now has a ton of chemicals in it that you're obviously going to be inhaling, especially if you're doing it indoors. So be mindful of that. Little side note tips that are on topic. But yeah, I would be remiss to also not give you that information as I'm telling you to start burning shit up in your house. You know what I'm saying? So be aligned, clear out. This is what the energy is about right now. I will do a bonus reading as promised, and I'm going to post that tomorrow. And that is going to be aligning with the angels. So I wanted to focus on the ancestors today. I'm going to listen back to this message as well after I post it, so that I can get whatever it is that I may have missed in the channeling, and then do my regular rituals and stuff. I'm also going to be posting up a bay leaf release ritual that I will share, so that you guys can also use this energy to discard. It's part of also the smudging. It's part of the cleansing out. So I'm going to share that. That will be up later on as well after I post this. And then I'm just going to sit in this energy. I'm going to go up under the moon at 7:54 p.m. tonight, this evening with Kai. And we're going to just moon bathe and, do a spiritual bath either tonight or tomorrow. But again, stay tuned for the bay leaf release, because we're going to be doing that as well during the peak and release it out into the air. And then tomorrow I will confer with the angels and see what they have to say about this energy and how much aligns, which I always love to see, the root messages as we started off talking about. So that's it for now. Sorry for all of the interruptions and splices. I usually like to do one straight go, but had some technical difficulties and interruptions. But that's the information for now. That's what's happening. If you want any additional information, again, I do personal readings as well for $1 a minute. I want to make it accessible. A lot of people aren't comfortable oftentimes feeling like they should invest in their spiritual levels and paths, and feeling like this stuff is hokey or what, you know what I'm saying? People have a lot of other people's words in their minds. So I try to release that guilt in a way, so that at least they feel like, okay, it's not that much, you know what I mean? And then at least they get the information that they need, because that is part of my sacred service. And that's also why I do these readings, to just kind of put out there for the collective as well, and the deck a day, because I think it's important for people to be able to tune in to spirit. And this is kind of the gateway drug. And you want to get high on this. I'm telling you right now, you want to get high on this. It's the real deal, and it's some good stuff, and it opens you up. Whole self-health. If there's anything, and that's part of the smudging, that's part of the cleansing out, y'all, be mindful of what you're putting inside you. Again, that's internally, that's visually, that's spiritually, that's, ladies in particular too, like, be mindful of who you letting inside you, all of that. So, just purify your temple. If this is a path for you, if this is something that makes sense for you in terms of alignment with spirit, with source, with self, with soul, your soul, because God is in you, your ancestors are in you. And if you want to be honoring, if you want to revere them, you have to honor and revere yourself. It is that simple. It is that tangible. So you start with you got them covered, and then they cover you. I promise you that. And then all your passions, all your purpose, all of your dreams will come true faster than you think. Ashe? Until later, or tomorrow, or whatever Spirit decides, I will see you when I see you. Unless we forget. Time to get back to natural. Peace, y'all. Actually, before I go officially, so I will have to sign off again, I forgot to do the charms. So since I have to splice anyway because of all the interruptions, I decided I'm going to do the charms, which I like to do when I do extensive readings, just to see what the symbols have in store for us in alignment with the cards and just the general energy that the ancestors have for us. So I have about 60 charms in here. Some of them are words, some of them are symbols, and I just intuitively read what comes through in regards to the actual physical charm. So I'll just kind of do this, see what stays in my hand when I do a little grab. It's like when you're, sorry, you're probably not hearing me with all that, but it's like when you go do those claw games, when you're at the arcades and stuff, it's kind of like that. So I kind of use these 3 fingers, and I just kind of do that. Pick up and drop. So let's see what we got. As always, which I get so often when I pull charms, I call this charm the grounded growth. And in alignment with everything that was discussed in regards to the roots in our trees and our branches and the leaves, and, just grounding, getting our feet on solid ground and remembering the roots and how we are planting seeds and how solid we want our roots to be. Again, if you watch the whole reading, you know what I'm talking about. If you watch previous readings, you know what I'm talking about. If you ground your feet under, on soil under a tree, you know what I'm talking about. We need to do that so much more often. That's so much in alignment with whole self-health as well, because when we connect with nature in that way, it's like aligning our physical aura with the aura of nature and getting fused, getting whole again. So it is that whole self-health. That is, again, it's not just about internally what we're eating or what we're watching. It's what we're doing with our physical body. And that aligns as well with exercising. I'm glad that I did the charms, because I'm also, I'm remiss if I didn't mention that the whole self-health is also about being active, being physical, doing things, working out, doing, yoga or whatever it is that makes us feel like we're using our body. Dance. Oh my goodness, dance. I dance every day. Kai and I dance every day. And now we're doing Qigong every morning, and like do as much as you can just to get the body working. And when you align with nature, when you align and put your feet on soil and you ground, it again just gives you that rootedness that helps you get the inspired action and the confirmations and information that you need to be as holistically healthy as possible. And while you're at it, get some sun, get some vitamin D, that natural vitamin D, and especially while it lasts, while you can. We are 2 days shy of the autumn equinox, so it's no longer summer. We have 2 days left of summer, and I always get super when summer leaves, but part of acceptance, part of growth, part of transition, part of change is celebrating all of those different seasons. And I'm getting so much better at it, especially because of how much I do not align with the winter time. But I'm getting better at it because I'm starting to see the beauty in the cycle. I'm seeing the beauty in the change. And it's so beautiful to see how much can still grow when so much dies in the wintertime. How much there's still green despite how much snow and frost and ice. And I'm starting to look at that more, and it makes me so inspired. So I look forward, ironically, to winter in that regard, in being able to see how much I've evolved because of how much I was just so about it. And now I'm able to focus on the silver linings, that and there's so much silver in the wintertime. So it is beautiful. And then we've got our starfish here, which is a perfect alignment with this Pisces energy, because Pisces is the two fish. So aligning with the water, aligning with the ocean, aligning with Yemoya and Olokun energy, and all of the mentioning as well, like sometimes people feel like they're getting lost and swept up in the tides. I used the mermaid deck, and when I think about aligning with the mermaids, then you think about the depth of the sea. You think about how important it is to celebrate that kind of depth, to celebrate being part of something so vast, but knowing that every drop is as significant, and that we are all one. And it's similar as well to the stars in the sky, and that's what's coming through as well, that it's as above, so below energy. The starfish aligns literally with as above, so below energy, because we've got stars up in the sky, and then we have stars at the bottom of the sea. That's where we find the starfish, laying at the bottom of the sea. And it's so beautiful to realize how much we are also aligned with stars, and that we are made of literally the same stuff that stars are made out of. And for us to be able to revel in that energy. When we look up at the stars, when we look up at the moon, and we're so in awe, we should be in that same level of awe when we look at ourselves in the mirror. You are a star. Fish also align with abundance and that kind of, fruitfulness coming through. Again, it being harvest season. So beautiful message and alignment coming through with the starfish and the sun and grounded growth. That all culminates to abundance of love, and love equates abundance. And that really does align with our Six of Baskets as well, because it is about that generosity and temperance as well, in regards to that overflowing, ever-flowing infinity cup of water, just pouring from one to the next, and knowing who it is that you want to have that kind of generosity and that kind of sharing with, because you know that it's reciprocal, because you know that it is a constant flow and that it's never ending. that it's infinite, and it starts with love. So love yourself. The more you love yourself, the more you love your angels, your ancestors, the creator. Like I said, it begins in you because they are in you. When you take care of yourself by what it is that you eat, that you see, that you put in your body, that you take out of your body, how you cleanse your environment, your entity, your emotions, your energy, all of that is part of how this love is going to continue infinitely. So I'm glad that I had to splice so that I can get that in, because it definitely aligned. And now I'm done. And then angel message will come tomorrow. Okay. Peace, 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 yo.